And we're back. You guys remember the description of the morning?
Sure.
Okay. You guys heading out? Doing anything before you leave?
I packed my tent up in record time, and I'm like, hey, fellas, it's time to get out of here.
Yes, let us make haste.
I would like to, I don't know what it could do, but I would like to study the forest as we're walking during the day. See if I can learn anything.
Okay.
I'm studying the forest, but for a different reason. It's just sort of don't eat me.
Roll a... Alright, first off, roll a nature check.
A nature check?
A nature check.
Oh.
Now, roll an intelligence check.
Not a saving throw, just a check.
Just a check.
Kate is probably keeping an eye on things as he's limping along.
You notice that there are two distinct types of trees.
Okay.
And that will come into play later. You don't know why there's two distinct or what's what the real difference is. Just there's two types of trees. One that looks really common and you see it all over the place, and every now and then you'll see a different style of bark and different pattern of the branches.
Okay. I'm keeping this information to myself.
Okay.
Alright, so I imagine we're out of the forest because there's only one hex of it. What else do we start to see?
So you leave the forest onto this huge plains with hills to your south, and eventually you find a point where the path meets back up with itself, and you'd see a sign pointing off to Lakeside Military Fort, or Lakeside Fort, this way. And then another sign which says Bursting Gorge this way. And so naturally you guys would follow the one towards Bursting Gorge, since that's where you're headed.
Man, Bursting Gorge sounds like it's got to have some really interesting clubs in it.
Perhaps.
Still have that legend up?
That what?
Yeah, you do. I was just trying to see how big this place is compared, which it seems to be, what, double the size?
You're going from a low population area to a medium population area.
Okay.
So it is a larger town. Think of Monroe to Appleton.
Oh, damn. Okay.
For those that don't know, Monroe is a 10,000 person town, right? Or 17?
11,000.
11. And Appleton...
Oh, man.
And
big difference.
Appleton is a 78,000 person town. So, comparative size difference. Okay, so...
10,827 to be exact.
At the end of the night, the end of the day, you guys end up just going past these two lakes, rather insignificant, nothing too extreme about them, and then you see this plains just stretching in front of you as far as the eye can see. Incredibly flat, with just a straight path across them. And you see nothing of interest. No landmarks other than where you have been. And the sun is starting to set.
So we're able to see, what is this? The Siri Waste? Am I reading that right?
Yes.
Hey, Siri!
Alright,
Sorry,
well...
that joke was for me, I'm sorry.
After hearing Cade make that weird outburst,
I'm imagining him just shouting at the sky.
I proceeded to go on.
Hey, Siri,
further.
tell me a joke!
Just
good one.
wind.
Anyways...
I proceeded to go on further and make camp when it starts to go to nightfall.
Okay, so you guys are just at the bottom of this. It's kind of a little bit of a hill coming down, but it's not like a bunch of hills. And you guys are at the base of it, on the plains.
Okay, well, I set up my tent as per the usual, and I poke my head back out and I go, "Hey, Gary, you think you can watch out for us tonight?"
You get zero response. Doesn't even blink and look at you.
I just look at him and I wink, "Good boy." And then I go to bed.
He can blink?
He has shutters on his eyes, yes.
I'm human.
Not you, dumbass. Clearly, you're human. The only non-human here with goddamn fucking Iron Giant eyes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about my wink. I'm like, well, fucking of course I can.
No, you had your eyelids removed because you are a scoundrel.
You suffer from dry eye.
Extreme dry eye.
Oh,
Anyways, Cade's gonna strike up some small talk with Garak, the Great Hammer Warrior of the Iron Legions, champion of the Old Gods. Something I can't read, and then something else after that.
Even getting that far is impressive. I wonder how you're.
It's right in front of me, dude.
I copied and pasted it onto my character sheet.
Garak, the Great Hammer, warrior of the Iron Legions, champion of the Old Gods, bane of the Abyss, and slayer of the ancient horrors 9.
Yes. Wonderful.
Stupid.
All right, so Cade's gonna ask him what how he got the name the Great Hammer as a nickname.
That is not a mere nickname. That was my birth name.
All right, that settles that.
Yes. I was forged long ago by the gods themselves.
What gods?
The old gods.
Specific. Okay.
Yeah, that's all you're going to get from them.
My character's a bit of a know-it-all if you haven't picked up on that.
Are you one of the few that believes in gods? Because I know, like, Leon would just basically, like, think, all right, this robot's crazy.
Oh, I'd scoff at you. Don't you fucking worry.
Yep. I mean, that's pretty much what I expect from, I believe.
You live in a world where there's talking robots, and you scoff that there might be gods.
Damn straight.
This
All right.
is more of a steampunk world. There might be actual other, like, recently built automata.
So, Tegan is going to be joining this conversation, obviously. Did Gar actually ask if she believes in gods?
Wait, that was
Sure.
a she?
No,
What?
Garak is
Chris?
asking Tegan, so you believe in gods, don't you? You look like a wise fellow.
In fact, I do.
See? Smarter already. Much better than the filth that occupies the rest of these towns. Can you believe they do not believe in the gods?
I mean, I can see how they don't. But then again, at the same time, I have a very special connection. And it's kind of hard to believe that they don't see what's right in front of their face.
Man, you can hear some aggressive snoring from Leon's tent.
Oh, I forgot to tell you guys that fight last night. You guys all got 10 XP.
Woo! I threw my pistol at.
I missed.
I also missed, but also got the shit kicked out of me there for a second.
I think only Tegan really did good in that fight. Like, she just brought the man hammer.
The Warhammer, thank you.
I did more damage than 2 of our main damage-dealing classes at this
Hey,
We only
I
had
at least,
one roll, and we both missed, so
point.
at least I tanked pretty well.
at least the party went 50-50.
Actually, you know what? The grizzle from your leg meat might have done more damage to it than my pistol, so maybe you did do more damage to it than me.
Poor Badger probably broke a nail.
Anyways, Cade's gonna go to bed.
Thank you, Gar, for watching over us.
You are very welcome, fine lady.
And then Tegan also goes to bed.
Alright, so the night goes on uneventfully. And you wake up in the morning, still a bit overcast, a little bit warmer today, more humid. There's some dew on the grass that you can see. This path is a lot less defined than the previous path, for what you might gather as obvious reasons. And yeah, you guys are just starting to wake up.
I, again, pray to my God for a solid minute before getting all of my stuff together.
Yeah, I woke up, I went and took my piss, and I took my tent down.
Alright, then you begin on your travels.
And we're walking.
About halfway through your day, you notice a change in scenery as you come upon the Siri Wastes, which these hills, imagine a desert made of entirely ash.
Alright, I've played Dark Souls.
So these hills are basically like dirt hills, but it's just ash, it's barren, no trees, no grass. Your path is made of entirely gravel. Does anybody have any questions about their surroundings?
There's nothing, again, to see. It's
just rolling hills of this ashen dirt.
Would
And-
Cade be concerned of any sort of weather in this area?
Weather, no.
Or any sort of legend? Alright. Cade is going to relay to the party. Hey, you guys, remember when we saw that sign, stay into the path? Yeah, you're going to want to do that.
Leon comes back with, I didn't plan on leaving it.
I'm just saying. The ash doesn't sit well.
Alright, we'll stick to the path and just keep on going.
Man, I do not envy the road crews out here.
So, as your afternoon progresses, you're walking along on this path, which is in between two hills. So you're kind of at the bottom of one, about to go up another. And there's a hill a little bit off to your left, and all of a sudden the ground starts rumbling. And this entire ground starts to shake, and the hill, about 200 to 300 feet to your north, starts shrinking and getting smaller and smaller and smaller until it just disappears.
So the entire time Leon's been at the back of the party. And anyone that turns around can see that Leon's eyes are bug-eyed. And I say to the rest of the party, did anyone else see that?
Yeah, that's pretty normal for this area.
I don't know how we couldn't have seen it.
Quite impressive.
I rub my eyes a couple of times and look at everybody and just go, so it wasn't part of my imagination.
Nope.
Tegan's shaking her head.
Alrighty then.
Alright, and then as your afternoon finishes and you're into the evening and sunset begins, you're on top of one of these hills, and you can see off in the distance tall mountains with clouds around the tips and snowy peaks off in the distance.
So as I'm setting up my tent for the night, I point over at those mountains with my rapier and I go, now if those move by morning, I'm done. I'm going back to Bleakfin.
Yeah, those shouldn't move. We'll see.
You guys can see the edge of this strange hilly area.
I give it a good old stink eye before I hop in my tent and go to bed. My tent is on the road, by the way.
Yep, Tegan's tent is on the road and close to Gar.
On the road again.
Gar is going to go into his inactive mode.
Is inactive mode.
Yes.
Wait, does that mean we don't have a watch for the night?
No, he's still aware and conscious. He's just sitting there, staring off into the distance, just listening and watching, but not moving. In the middle of the night, Grodd exclaims, "Ah, yes, I knew I remembered this place somehow."
Meanwhile, you hear another like loud groaning "fuck" from Leon's tent as he's woken up by this fucking robot's exclamation.
What, like, is this as loud as before? A little quieter?
It's not like a shout. It's just a standard talk.
Okay, then Cade probably is not disturbed.
I sleep fairly lightly.
That's all he says. Grodd resumes his meditative state.
From Leon's tent, you just hear nothing else. No loud klaxons. We good?
Yes, we are quite safe still. The threat has long passed.
Excellent.
Well,
And I
now
put my
Cade
head-
wakes up.
I say excellent, and I put my head back down on my pillow.
Woo, a night of interrupted sleep. Yay! I didn't say that. I just thought it.
Tegan's still fast asleep.
Alright. And the night passes uneventfully. So you wake up this morning, you wake up a little bit later than usual. Not too much later, but just a little bit. And it still seems dark for some reason around this area. It's not overcast anymore, but it seems like the sun is not breaking through as much as it should be.
So Leon gets out of his tent and just looks at the sky and scratches his beard a little bit, going,
Would I know anything from, like, my research done prior, like all of my classes? Do I know anything about this?
This knowledge is far since lost from classes.
Okay. All right. Well, do we want to get going?
Sounds like a plan.
I'd rather not have to sleep on the floor or on the ground anymore.
Yes, let us finish our journey.
So you set off, and early in the morning, you guys pass through onto the next plains. And about midday, you can see off in the distance a large settlement settled right into the side of a mountain. And there's a few hills before you get there, but you see this. It's not white. It's kind of like a gray, glimmering city off in the distance. And
Oh,
then
that's cool.
by mid-afternoon, you guys arrive. And when you walk up, as you get closer, you notice very large stone walls with a massive metal gate in the front. There are guards posted all along the wall. Not quite Minas Tirith, no.
I like that you identified that immediately.
No, it's much more two-dimensional. It's not so high-risey. But it's much larger than Minas Tirith.
Gotcha.
Like area-wise, not like population.
Probably both.
No.
As you approach, you notice there are two guards in front of an open gate. And along the wall, you count at least 24 other guards with various weapons looking out and spread out quite evenly, as well as a patrol walking over the gate. Patrol consisting of 10, 15 different guards.
Ahoy there!
Who goes
Right.
there?
Us travelers from Blackfin.
Ah, welcome to our city.
Thank you, kind sir.
What brings you this way?
These papers that one of us has, I don't remember exactly who anymore.
Ah, yes, be sure to turn those in. There are families anxiously awaiting the report.
I elbow Leon and try to get him to give him the papers. Make a motion to give him the papers.
Any day now.
Hold on. Sorry, had to type things to the GM.
God's willing, there will be at least one blacksmith worth his salt in this city.
Leon is looking quite different right now.
Like what kind of different?
Hold on a second. I'll tell you in a second.
Like suddenly he grew rabbit ears, or?
Leon, roll stealth. No? Deception.
Oh, yes. So that's a 23, by the way, not just a 21 because of expertise.
You guys notice that Leon is no longer standing next to you. You don't know when this happened, but you now notice an older-looking man with some definitive scars and blonde hair, a member of your group.
Huh. Well, that's a new one.
Tegan is looking around as like she's trying to find where Leon went.
Did they specifically say my name to the guards?
Did you?
No, I went to elbow him.
Ah.
So when you went to
Okay.
elbow him, you were very confused to not find him.
I thought
And
she
then-
elbowed an old man instead.
I gently elbowed her back, and I went up to the guards, and I went, yep, here you go.
Oh, no. You don't turn those in here. If you look inside, and he points through the gate, and you see through the gate a bunch of structures and a bunch of people walking around the streets, what you want to do is you want to follow this street down all the way, and you will end up at a large building. Now, in front of this building, there are a few signs talking about which buildings, but you want the main building. That's the travel center. If you go and drop these off at the clerk at the front counter, she'll tell you what to do with them.
Alright, let's go do that then.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I got bad ears. I go ahead and hand the papers to Tegan. You better hold on to these.
Really have no idea what happened to Leon.
I went for a walk in the woods.
What?
I went for a walk in the woods. I didn't say I meant
I take the papers from him and I kind of just look at the old man. Can I tell that it's him?
Roll perception. Yes.
I can see her looking at me, and I wink back at her.
I kind of smile knowingly.
And I look back at the guard and went, I guess it's best we were on our way. And continue to walk off towards where he said.
Grok notices that there's something off about the companion number 3, but humans age so fast to him, he's just like, oh, must have gotten old.
Acceptable.
Kate is sort of confused, but
I see
sort
that
of
Kate
accepts
is-
it.
I see that Kate is hesitating, so I kind of wave my hand at him a little bit to like hurry up over my shoulder. I should say
Yeah, no,
the
he's
old
walking
man.
along.
Alright.
All right, I'm gonna say that we are heading towards the travel center.
Alright, so as soon as you walk past this gate, and this is a surprisingly thick wall as well. It's about 20 to 30 feet thick, with the gate being somewhere in the middle of that. And then you notice there are actually 2 gates going into this place. Once you get through that, you end up in this bustling town, almost like a greeting center type deal. There's people everywhere. There's immediately people in your face trying to sell little gimmicky goods or food items.
Oh, this is my kind of place.
Haha, I didn't counter you on accident with your locale.
Cade
Alright.
doesn't like the hustle and bustle of people everywhere, but he is okay and can deal with it because he was told by his parents the deal.
I'm just going to have Tegan spearhead this whole thing and take charge, so she's just like pushing her way through people, making a way.
As Tegan starts to push ahead, I grab her shoulder and I start whispering in her ear, until we're out of this town, my name is Kate. Hold on.
What?
Hold on. The name that I had for him was too similar to Cade. I just realized. I thought of this a little while ago. I didn't know your name was Cade. My name is Carl.
Carl?
Yeah.
Carl!
So, are you guys familiar with like the bazaars and shopping center of like Israel? Like how utterly insane they are?
I mean, it's been a while since I've been there, but yeah.
But like, okay, so
Oh, I know.
just the Middle East. You see it in the movies.
I'm imagining like an Aladdin, Indiana Jones style open air
Yeah.
market where it's just everyone's put up their shops in the streets, even though they're really not supposed to be there.
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm trying to paint the picture here.
Okay. Would it be investigation or perception if I looked around for people gambling with cards?
Perception. As you guys are pushing through this crowd, you do notice a few people trying to play gambling games. Some with cards, others with dice.
Oh. Hey. Oh, I am going to break off from the group and tell them, "Hey guys, go ahead and go on without me. I've got some catching up to do with some old friends."
I grab him by the shoulder. We need to turn these in first, and then you can go.
Oh, but they're really old friends.
It will take 2 seconds.
I guess. If we must. And I continue on with the party.
Come, old one, there will be time for festivities later.
Yeah, I have no idea what.
Whatever you were looking
what
for,
any
you
of
didn't
those
see
games
it.
are.
Yeah, whatever it was you were looking for, you didn't see it.
It's not there.
Struck by
Yeah, no,
momentary
fair
blindness.
enough, fair enough.
Alright, so Leon breaks off from the party, goes to investigate his own thing. Are you guys continuing towards
No,
the travel
I
center?
No, I stuck with the party.
Okay, sorry, I misinterpreted that. Whispers and all. So you guys are making your way down, and you notice that the shopkeepers clear out significantly as you start moving into the town. And it breaks into just normal people walking into shops, checking things out, much more organized. The density of guards is also much higher. There's pretty much a guard every 100 feet, just walking around the middle of the road. You do see a few horseback soldiers in their armor. Some of these soldiers also have musket-like looking weapons, and a fair few of them are still wielding swords.
Okay.
Is there anything you guys want to look for, or are planning on doing specifically while you're walking? It's quite the walk, mind you. It's several city blocks.
I'm going to take in my surroundings, just kind of noting what's like what the different shops are and where everything kind of is as I'm walking.
Roll intelligence.
Yeah, I'm also observing the surroundings. So should I roll intelligence as well, or?
You know what? No. Both of you roll perception. And this perception is going to be for taking in side conversations, seeing shop names, remembering what you saw on individual shopkeepers' stands, and a little bit of what you know about this city.
Oh,
Can
fuck.
I join in with my perception?
Sure.
Woo!
Check your description. Or your journal.
Okay,
If you succeeded, you'll find something there.
gotcha.
Dang it.
Are any of you... Do any of you have the city as a familiar environment?
The city or this city?
The city.
Leon.
Okay, anybody else?
I mean, Carl.
Okay, that would have made your check easier, but you still failed it.
Okay.
Alright, as you guys are continuing to walk, you come up upon a large, almost ancient Greek construction style building with a fair amount of people, a large fountain in the middle, and a garden on either side of it. In front of you, there lays a stake with a bunch of signs, and one is a travel center pointing into the building.
Oh, I love steak.
You're an idiot.
Anyways.
Reminds me of that reaction gif I posted earlier. Why would I save a world I don't have any stake in?
Yeah. Alright, Leon goes ahead and starts to walk in the building.
I follow.
Don't you mean Carl?
Yeah, Carl.
Is the door big enough to fit Garak?
It's quite massive.
All right, Garak strolls in as well.
It's an open air building. So, there's no doors on the entry. There's definitely some closed away wings, but the main... I don't know if corridor is the right word, but the main area is open to the outside.
Foyer?
Yeah, that's the word. So as you walk in, you notice a desk with several people next to it, kind of anxiously looking around. You notice a doorway with a guard. You notice a large doorway with several guards. And you notice on the other end, there's a large grouping of people with, it seems, one person talking to them.
Carl lets everybody else lead the way.
Where is this travel center?
It's in this room.
No, he was sort of just asking that.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Well, it should be here. There should be somebody to talk to. Tegan gets distracted by the people that are kind of looking... You said they're looking worried?
Anxious. They're looking
Good
back and
anxious.
forth, kind of surveying the crowd.
That kind of anxious. Okay.
One of the kids actually catches your eye.
Say what again?
One of the kids more or less locks eye contact with Tegan.
How old?
Okay.
Young.
Like Aubrey?
No, like 7 or 8.
Okay. Um,
So are you telling me Garak walks into this room and people don't just immediately stop their conversation and look at him?
No.
All right.
is this child, did you say boy or girl?
I didn't yet.
What species?
Human.
Boy or girl?
You can't tell.
Are they alone?
There's a mother there. Kind of has her hand on his shoulder. His or her shoulder.
I'm gonna roll insight to see. Isn't that for like the intentions?
Yes.
I'm gonna roll insight.
Okay. You imagine they're probably waiting around the travel center to see that their family made it safely to where they were headed. Using various levels of deductive reasoning, you arrive at they're anxious and that they are probably right next to the travel center.
Okay. Do I see the person who I'm supposed to hand these papers to?
There's a counter with a clerk and a guard behind it.
Alright, I'm gonna go up to the counter, but I also want to keep my eye on this child.
Okay.
Hey, Carl, do you notice how Tegan is staring at a child? Isn't that kind of creepy?
No, a little bit.
Says the young man pretending to be an old man.
Yeah, kinda.
Alright, so I'm at the counter.
Yes, do you have some papers to deliver, ma'am?
Yes. And I hand him the papers.
Ah, very good. Suddenly, all the families rush the counter. Just calm down, everyone. Just calm down. It appears that everyone arrived safely. You can rest assured.
Wait. How many families? And how
Yeah.
small is the space they just rushed?
It's a moderate-sized counter, and it was only 3 different families. So total, maybe 10 people.
Did they kind of shove past me?
They weren't violently rushing. They just suddenly there's a crowd around you.
Hmm.
The clerk thanks you and says, "Welcome to the city."
I thank him, and then I'm gonna kind of look around to see if I can still see this kid with her parent, or their parent.
Mostly middle class.
Gotcha.
Okay, I'm sorry, Tegan. You walked away.
I just kind of took a step back away from everyone and looked to see if that child was still there.
He's right next to his mother, no longer paying attention to you.
Okay. I step out of the middle of the crowd.
You hear a clanking footsteps behind you. This is all of you.
What did you just say?
You hear clanking, metallic-like footsteps behind you.
Grodd turns around, making an effort to
Grodd.
make. Sorry, Garak turns around, making an effort to make sure that he clanks and or his footsteps are even louder than the footsteps behind him.
You see a 6-foot-tall metallic creature that, in a kind of electronic voice, says, "Hello, my name is Entrimus. How may I help you today?"
Leon looks up at it and goes, "God damn, you're ugly."
I'm sorry,
You mean
I don't
Carl?
recognize that request.
Mind not this blasphemous one. Pray chance, can you tell us where the finest blacksmith of the city is?
Ah, yes I can. That resides in the Brickden Mining Company campus. If you go there, there is an information center. They will be able to help you.
Very good. Do you have a map or perhaps some directions?
If you go back out onto the street, there are signs that will direct you directly to where you wish to go.
Your service has been most helpful. Fine, soldier.
Glad to be of service.
I'll tell you what, Clinks. Any idea where a good inn is to sleep the night?
He kind of laughs. Ah, just around every corner. There seems to be a new inn popping up every week.
Go ahead and give me the name of the closest one, then.
He stands there, thinking for a little while. As if he's trying to calculate which is the nearest and most advantageous.
Here I am, like, thinking of Jake in his room, like, looking at a map on his wall, just drawing red lines. Which one's the closest?
Ah, yes. Based on your desire to visit the Brickden campus, the best inn for you will be right across the street from their information center, named Silver Navigations Inn. They are the finest in the town as well.
That sounds like a nice place to stay the night, don't you fellas think? How about at the end of this day we all meet up there again?
If you insist.
Tegan kind of looks at him, thinks about it for a bit. Sure, why not?
That sounds dandy. Now all those old friends I was talking about, they're still waiting for me. I gotta go meet them. I'll meet you guys at that inn later.
Hey, Carl, do you know what happened to Leon?
I'm pretty sure he's dead.
We just saw him
Hold on.
today, though. Like,
Never mind. Continue.
just saw him today.
Got bears. Fucked his face up. Found him in the woods. Took his papers. Started following you guys.
Wait, I thought you were Leon.
No, not Leon. That's Carl.
I have no idea what you're talking about. This is a pretty public place. Maybe ask Tegan later. Bye.
This brigand murdered Leon?
Tegan's just trying not to laugh the entire time this is happening.
As soon as I finish saying that, I go ahead and just scurry off into the crowd.
I never really liked Leon anyways.
You know that Carl is Leon, no, right?
No. Leon is dead. Had you not listened to Carl?
You're right. You are so right. Leon is dead. It is Carl now. Yep, that's right.
Yes. Do try to keep up. I know these mortals and their deaths can make things confusing. But trust me, you'll get the hang of it someday.
I'm telling you, that's Carl, not Leon.
I see you are lost. Fear not. Let us onward to Brighton.
Breckfin. We just came from there.
Sorry, what? Brickton. I wrote that wrong.
If you
came from
guys look at your
Bleakfen.
journals, you all have that handout that previous only a few had.
Oh, Bursting Gorge is what you said. Okay. No, Bursting Gorge is the city.
Oh,
Where's the...
shit. A private police force. I'm gonna come across the fucking SS.
Ah, yes. Brickton Excavation. Yeah, no, we came from Bleakfen. We're going to the Brickton.
I didn't actually pick up on that earlier. Man, I could have picked a better name. Damn it. I also
To
at
be
the
fair,
bottom.
it looks more complicated than it sounds.
I mean, to be fair, there's a character in this party that can't decide whether his name is Grod or Garak.
Or Gary.
No, we decided his name's Gary.
If you guys notice, I'm gonna try and add companies or places that you're aware of at the bottom.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank you.
Yep.
Is the information robot still like right there?
Yes, he's just standing there.
Holy God, Carl's voice is fucking me up. I gotta go get a drink of water before I fucking die.
I turn to the robot and I ask where the nearest either university, library, or bookstore is. Or all three.
You're asking about a university?
A university, a library, and/or bookstore.
Ah, yes. Oop, dog.
Yes, that was dog.
The nearest university would be Owlbridge University. That would most likely have the library you seek as well.
I like the echo I'm getting. I hear the dog in real life, and then I hear it over the mic.
Can you put that information in the description?
Yes, I can.
Kansas. Kansas owns the dog.
I did not know this.
His name is Luke.
Alright, added.
Thank you.
He's the bestest dog, right up until he starts squawking like a broken squeaky toy.
Oh, and then did you say anything about bookstores that I could go to
It would most likely be at the same place.
at the same place? Oh.
Yep.
Alright, I will see you gents later. And then Tegan makes her way off to Owlbridge University.
Okay. So who is all heading to the Brick Den campus?
Cade.
Not Leon. Carl.
Okay, so you guys are three-way splitting the party. Alright.
I mean, you said that there was going to be a lot to do in...
Yep. Alright, so let's go with...
I think now, unless Chris had somewhere special or some questions he wanted to ask, that would be a good place to call it. Come back tomorrow and do our or not tomorrow, next time, and do our special